Good evening, Internet. It's Stranger Than Fanfiction.
That's right, because there is nothing stranger than fanfiction.
I'm Jason Jujutsu.
And I'm Dr. Tiger.
And we have special guest listener, Shane with the Pain.
Actually, this time it's special guest reader.
Ooh. That's right. Shane the Pain drops a bomb right at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, so we are playing Shane with the Pain's Super NES classic, and we're going to play Kirby's Dream Course.
A game in which I am terrible.
And a game that I've barely ever played. And I'm told we have a very special fan fiction for tonight, Shane.
I'm going to read the Meta Knight Files.
The Meta Knight Files.
It is a crossover of Meta Knight and the X-Files.
Honestly, I'm excited. I'm probably going to be too distracted actually listening to the story this week than playing the game, but let's do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Let's get into it.
So we're going to do Krakow here.
Now remember, Meta Knight of the Sonnets does not own any X-Files or Kirby characters mentioned in this fan fiction.
Okay, disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
We don't need that.
So, Scully's phone rang on her way to work, and Mulder started jabbering on the other end before she could say hello. "I have an alien in the office, a real one. Where are you?" she said. She could hear the excitement in his voice and smiled to herself. "I'm going to be 5 minutes or so, and I really doubt it's an alien," she said. "You'll see. See you in 5 minutes," he said, hanging up. The alien sitting next to Mulder gave him a quizzical stare under his mask. The 5 minutes or so until...
Under his mask?
Yeah, it's Meta Knight.
Oh! Okay!
Wait. So this is the thing that as the reader, are we supposed to know that it's Meta Knight yet? Like...
Well, it's called the Meta Knight Files.
I guess so.
Maybe. I don't know. You don't... Okay, there you go. So you don't know what's under the mask. It could be... the Phantom of the Opera. Except 5 minutes ago, the 5 minutes or so until she arrived felt like an eternity for Mulder. For once, he'd have a chance to prove himself right about everything, and Scully was already a minute late. "Scully, Meta Knight, Scully," he said when she arrived. Scully took one look at the alien and rested her head in her hands. "That's obviously a small child in a costume," she said. "I am not a child," Meta Knight said, drawing his sword. Mulder had warned him about Scully, but he took offense anyways. Scully knelt to examine him, invading his personal space and turning him around. "Fine then, you're a dwarf with a Spanish accent. Funny I can't seem to find a zipper or anything," she said. "Do you dare challenge me?" Meta Knight said. He took a step forward, Scully pulling out her gun and pointing it at the alien. "Yes, I do. You're a fraud," she said. Her voice stayed even, but Mulder recognized it as a sign of her anger.
Wow, this is a fan fiction of run-on sentences.
He got in between them before a fight could break out. Meta Knight and Scully had to peer around him to see each other. This fighting is the last thing we need. The Syndicate is after Meta," he said. Scully put her gun away. Meta Knight sheathed his sword. "Scully is going to be skeptical. It's her job. Now, I don't want any fights from the two of you, all right?"
Oh my god. So close.
Is Dr. Tiger actually doing a bit better now?
Yeah. We're pretty even match.
No, it's too...
"Wait, I recognize him," Scully said. "He's the cartoon my godson watches. He's friends with a pink puffball or something. He claims he's from the planet Popstar. Where'd you find him?" She moved over to the computer and searched Meta Knight on Google. Plenty of pictures and information appeared. "He was dropped off by a couple of girls from Pennsylvania. The Syndicate went after them. One claims she's a werewolf," Mulder said. Scully quirked an eyebrow. She thought Mulder fell for a hoax, which was unlike him. "I want to talk to these girls before the Syndicate gets to them. The werewolf thing is probably an X-File on its own." Mulder smiled. "It gets better. The other says she's a chupacabra. We have a third X-File there. That makes for a pretty interesting case. Are you up for it?" Scully took a moment to think it over. She felt this was a hoax, but she found the idea of 3 X-Files in one tempting. "I guess it's worth a look," she said.
I love how many plot threads and this mess has already created. So we got Chupacabra, we got a werewolf, and we got Meta Knight. That everyone is super nonchalant about existing.
Yeah, it's just he's a cartoon character, but he's real and he's an alien from a planet, and he's here, and that's cool.
Yeah,
let's just look him up on Google.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out.
AOL.
No, it was Google.
No, I'm saying at that time it was AOL. The 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They spent the rest of the morning driving to Pennsylvania. The drive was uneventful except for the predicament of getting Meta Knight in a seatbelt. After a few hours, they pulled up in front of Dermont High School. The red brick building sat on top of a hill, looking for all the world like any other high school in America. Mulder and Scully brought Meta Knight inside with them after his protests and some sword wielding. However, their only caveat was that Meta Knight had to wear a jacket in a feeble attempt to appear human.
He's Ninja Turtles-ing it?
Just give him a fedora.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to the movies?
Yeah.
The trio was...
Watch Critters.
Yeah.
The trio was ushered into the gym doors where they were told they could meet the girls in question. The two girls appeared after a few moments, clad in gym clothes and slightly sweaty. "I'm Agent Mulder. I spoke with you on the phone. This is my partner, Agent Scully. And I think you two know Meta Knight," Mulder said. He introduced the pair to Scully as Ariel and Brianna. Brianna of Tarth? The pair of teenagers seemed nondescript, a pair of brunettes that could be found in any high school. The one distinguishing feature was Ariel's marked lack of height. "Why did you bring Meta Knight back?" "We gave him to you for a reason," Ariel said before Mulder could begin asking questions. The group fell into an awkward silence and the teenagers shared an uncomfortable giggle. Mulder and Scully realized that there had been such a rush to investigate a triple X file that they failed to think of the girl's safety completely.
That sounds like gross negligence.
But it also sounds like Mulder and Scully.
It's true.
Well, more Mulder than Scully, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Scully was always a little more professional than Mulder.
Mm-hmm.
So this, at least this fanfiction, kind of like sticking to
pretty accurate
canon, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, other than the whole Meta Knight.
No, this is totally canon, guys. Totally 100%.
Totally canon. Chris Carter confirmed it.
Yeah. This is Chris Carter's pseudonym. But it's good to see you, Meta, Brianna offered.
No.
Meta Knight glared at her, unhappy at the name Meta. "We're here to investigate your claims about being a werewolf and a chupacabra," Scully said. Brianna shot a glare at Ariel. "I told you leaving Meta with these people wasn't a good idea," she said. "I didn't know this would happen," Ariel said. She turned to the FBI agents. "We don't really like to advertise the fact that we're wolfish. I guess you can see why." "That makes sense. So explain the basis of your Mulder search for the word lycanthropy," Ariel offered. "Yes," he said. "Do you know the basics? Change every full moon into a wolf for the night, go all bloodthirsty, can only kill me with a silver bullet, so I'm immortal. I got bitten in Elizabethan England."
What?
"And Brianna only got bit recently," Ariel said. "I need blood to survive. It's kind of like a vampire too," Brianna said. "You know they exist too, right?" Scully's eyebrows shut up, but Mulder didn't react. 4 X-Files in one case? This has got to be a new record, he said. Ariel and Brianna looked at each other for a moment. "We're in danger," Ariel said. I think we have a lot more to talk about than just lycanthropy." "I think you're correct," Mulder said. "Tell us everything and start from the beginning." End of chapter 1.
Wow.
I just love, things are being thrown out as if they're completely normal. "Oh, yeah, I got bitten in East Elizabethan times. I'm, 200 years old."
But, I mean, that's different for werewolves and vampires and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right? That's a thing?
Yeah, totally.
Sure.
Ariel cleared her throat, just like I just did. "It happened 400 years ago when I was 15.
Oh, my God.
Scully opened her mouth to say something, but Mulder silenced her with a nudge. Ariel hesitated, and then continued. A teenage girl hummed to herself as she walked down an alley. The light from the full moon created a false sense of security in the shortcut home. A growl cut through the normal sounds of a London night.
Oh, okay, so wait.
This is a flashback.
Okay.
What's going on now?
Yeah, I'm just am I just too focused on the game, or am I missing something? No, they literally just went to a flashback without any sort of segue. It just bam.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, who's who?
I am Yellow Kirby.
Oh, okay. Okay.
DT is
I
regular
thought
Kirby.
it was the opposite way.
Yeah.
What happened?
I know. Killing it.
No, I'm doing all right.
"You didn't know someone was following you," Mulder said. Ariel considered, and then shook her head. "The only thing I heard was a cat going through the trash." Scully quirked an eyebrow. The girl's eyes fell to the floor. "Go on, Ariel," Mulder said. She spun her in search of the sound. A wolf leaped out of the shadows and pinned her down. It sunk its teeth into her shoulder. She shrieked in pain. The creature ran away as though it was afraid of the sound. She rolled onto her stomach and touched the wound of her upper back. Warm, sticky blood, and covered her hand. Without a second thought, she ran home. The next day, a neighbor, Amelia, came to check on Ariel. She looked unusually tired, had to know about the bite without being told, apologized for it, and explained what her friend had become. Within a few days, she had met the rest of the wolf pack, a total of 4 others.
Wow.
What's even going on?
I have no idea what's going on.
Silence rang through the hallway, and Ariel completed her tale. She rocked back and forth on her heels, waiting for the verdict. Scully was the first to say something. That couldn't have happened, I should say. She said. Her skepticism surprised no one. Why not, Mulder said. All the details added up, and he believed the story to be true. Scully, on the other hand, found a flaw. If you were born in England, why don't you have an accent? Ariel's cheeks turned slightly pink as she answered, I spent as much time here that I've lost it. I've been here since the Blitz.
I love that that's the thing that she's incredulous about,
Yeah.
is the accent.
Yeah. It's like, it's been 400 years, Scully. God.
There's like, no, not that you're a vampire / werewolf, not that you're from Elizabethan Victorian times or whatever. It's the fact that you don't have an accent.
I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like if she's, how many years old? 300 years old, whatever? I don't know.
500, 600 years old.
600 years old, yeah.
500 years old. Scully was about to press this, but Mulder talked over her. So, Brianna, what's your story? He said. Brianna had been leaning on the wall next to Ariel, watching the argument. But before she could get any further than that, Mennonite cut her off. Someone's coming, he said. Scully and Mulder turned, expecting a teacher, but found themselves face to face with a man in a black coat and sunglasses. He was also pointing a gun at the group. Mulder and Scully immediately reached for the guns, but the man fired a shot. The bullet missed Scully's shoulder and hit the opposite wall, as she flinched away from the spot. Hand over the aliens and those girls. Hand over the alien and those girls, and we won't have to hurt you, the man said. I don't think we're going to hand over the only evidence of aliens we have, Mulder said. The man's lips twitched. Then you all have to die. With that, he fired 3 shots. Mennonite pulled out his sword, jumped forward, and deflected all 3 bullets.
Oh my god.
They spiraled into the wall. Run, I'll hold them off, Mennonite said. Mulder was about to protest, but Scully grabbed his arm and pulled it. Mulder, you have to evacuate the school, she said. Someone could get hurt. Mulder looked at Mennonite and then ran with Scully and the girls down the hallway. Ariel and Brianna led the way as they knew the school the best. In the middle of a deserted hallway, they froze. Guys, we have to keep going, Mulder said. They might get past Mennonite. We know that, Brianna said. She and Ariel were examining some rolled-up wrestling mats. They looked at each other for a moment and grinned. Mennonite ran into an empty hallway in the school, stopped and leaned against the wall as a group of men ran by. When Mulder, Scully, and the girls ran off, half a dozen men had stepped out from around the corner and started firing. Mennonite let out a sigh and relaxed a little. That is, until he felt something poke him in the back, and nearly let out a yell as swiveled, poised to strike. However, he relaxed when he saw Scully's head poking out of one of the mats.
Oh, they're rolled up in the mats. Okay.
Rolled up in the mats, yeah.
Oh my god.
Why did Mennonite have a sword? Like, why didn't FBI agents
confiscate that?
Confiscate the sword? Like, he's not hiding it. Like, you see Mennonite, it's like, it's there. Like,
yeah, you'd think that police would probably want to take a dangerous weapon from someone, but
yeah, man.
Especially if it's an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a dwarf with a Spanish accent.
In a costume, yeah. It must be a pretty convincing costume.
Yeah.
Good on Mennonite then.
What are you doing in a wrestling mat? Mennonite said. He looked up and realized that there were heads poking out from the other wrestling mats. Mulder was behind Scully, and Ariel and Brianna were peeking from their mats in the opposite wall, hiding, Scully said. I think there's another mat in the wrestling room, Mennonite, if you want, Brianna said with a smile. Mennonite stared at her, and then shook his head. Or you could share with Brianna, Ariel said. We can't hide her all day, Mennonite protested. We have to evacuate the school. Brianna smiled. Aw, he cares. You're right, Mennonite, Mulder said. Once he saw a tint of red flash in Mennonite's eyes, he examined the walls. Go over there and pull the fire alarm, Mennonite, unless you're too short, Brianna said.
Oh! Boom, roasted.
Savage.
Mennonite glared at Brianna before a bang, and within seconds a flashing light, along with a siren, filled the hallways. All over the school, students emptied out of their classrooms and filed outside. The four worried out from the inside of the mats and made their way outside. Wormed their way out from the inside of the mats and made their way outside. Brianna and Ariel blended in with their classmates, and Scully, Mulder, and Meta Knight made it into their car and drove off. End of chapter 2.
This is fantastic so far.
I'm so lost. Like, it's just one run-on sentence after another.
It's even broken up. It's broken up.
Into like,
all right, but like.
Oh yeah.
Man,
that's
like,
a long one.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering though, like, where are these teachers? Like, why have they not noticed that there's 2 FBI agents sneaking around the school? Like, what kind of school is it?
Where's their hall passes?
Yeah, exactly. Where's the hall monitor at the very least?
Yeah, why aren't these 2 girls in class?
Yeah, what were they doing anyway? Right? Like, they were in gym clothes, but they weren't in class. Clearly,
I expect they must have went to the police. They went to the principal's office and told them they needed to speak to them, but they needed to speak to them without their parents, which is probably illegal.
Yeah,
highly illegal.
And what, like, 400-year-old Victorian vampire werewolf is going to want to go to high school? Like,
yeah.
Also, how does she have parents?
Yeah, that's also a really good point.
Yeah.
Some Twilight shit.
Stephanie Meyer right now is going to be like, what is this?
Furiously typing on her typewriter.
This would have a lot more sex in it if it was her, probably.
That's actually probably accurate.
I bet you we could probably find a Meta Knight werewolf vampire.
We're not looking for that.
There are a lot of Meta Knight fanfics. We'll look for more later.
Great idea.
Safe search off.
Yeah, no, safe search on. All of the safe search. The safest search.
The phone rang and Ariel got home from school. The caller ID said her school district was calling and her heart beat faster. Hello, she said. Hello, this is a recording, the voice of the principal said. She let out a breath and didn't realize she was holding her breath, Her school sent out an automated recordings regularly, and it made sense for them to do something like that after the events in the gym.
Oh my god.
Today at Drummond High School, the police were called in to investigate allegations that certain students were using illegal drugs. In the course of these events, certain students in question pulled a gun on the police. However, no students, faculty members, or police were harmed in the process. You can be assured that we are doing all we can to take care of the matter, and you should not be alarmed. Have a wonderful day. When she pressed the hang up button on the phone, Ariel felt like her insides had been removed and replaced with styrofoam.
Styrofoam? That's a weird turn of phrase.
I don't know. That's, I guess... that is kind of weird. But it's the last thing, it's like sawdust sand.
I don't even know.
There were 2 people she needed to talk to, so she pulled out the card Agent Mulder had given her earlier that day and dialed. Mulder, he answered. It's Ariel. I got a call from the school district. It was one of the automated calls, and they said the police were called because of illegal drugs. And she said the words tumbling out over each other. That happens a lot, he said. Ariel resisted the temptation to groan. But they lied. To everyone, she said. That's why this is so dangerous, he said. The line was silent for a moment. I'm scared, she said.
Oh my god.
Good. That's healthy. Scully and I are going to protect you and Brianna.
Oh my god.
This is totally like a Lord of the Rings, Aragorn and Frodo Baggins. Are you scared, Frodo Baggins? Yes. Not as scared as you should be.
I just love that. Let me taste your fear, Ariel.
My god. Great.
Good, that's healthy. Scully and I are going to protect you and Brianna. Now that I think the syndicate is going to go after you so soon because I think Mennonite is the one they want. You should be safe for now. All right, what if people think Brianna and I are the ones doing the illegal drugs, she said. She was over 500 years old and was still conscious about high school gossip. No one's going to connect you to... if it keeps your head down. Thank you, she said. I'll be here till Friday, he said. She laughed and disconnected the phone. That was when Brianna called her to tell her what she'd just told Mulder. Apparently, Brianna had just spoken to Scully. They had called a meeting that evening to Brianna's house. Scully, Mulder, Mennonite, both girls, and their parents attended, gathered around the Donahue's dining room table. Your daughters are in danger, and they claim to be mythical creatures, Scully said, getting right to the point. Silence fell, followed by a volley of questions from the parents. Mulder called for a hush. First, did you know that the girls were claiming what the girls were claiming before now, he said. Ariel's parents answered with the affirmative. We took her in because we're friends with a member of her wolf pack. Amelia, it was a favor to her, her mother said. Brianna's parents, on the other hand, didn't know quite as much. Brianna explained her change into a chupacabra from the animal bite she's gotten. The FBI presence and the shooting at school seemed to convince them that their daughter told the truth. As you know, Mulder said, there was a shooting at school today. No one was hurt. But we have reason to believe that the same people reasonable for that are after your daughters. Multiple parents asked about where the information came from. Your daughters dropped off our friend Mennonite off to our office.
It's going to be like, for a second, like, where's Mennonite been in this whole thing?
Yeah.
Like, he's been out of the discussion entirely.
He's in the room.
Okay.
He's an alien, Scully glared at him, so he amended. We have a reason to believe that he's an alien. Where did you get the alien? Ariel's father said. Both girls studied their feet and flushed. Remember my science fair project? We messed around with it and accidentally contacted Planet Popstar. Ariel said. God. Brianna's mother groaned. I knew I should have gotten rid of your Mennonite obsession, Brianna, she said. Mennonite glanced up. Obsession? He said. Brianna flushed harder and Ariel giggled. Mulder cleared his throat and continued. Mennonite's ship, the Halberd, is currently broken. Until he fixes it and returns home, I recommend that Scully and I keep watch over him and your girls for their protection. The four parents nodded and made noises of agreement. Scully said, to comply with the school district story, we're going to say that the girls are members of some sort of witness protection program. More nods in agreement. They worked at a time scheduled for protection. Scully would watch Ariel, Mulder would guard Mennonite and Brianna. That night, four shell-shocked parents went into bed feeling a little less safe than usual.
Oh my God.
Now, unfortunately, this is where the story ends. It was written in 2011, so I don't think there's going to be any updates anytime soon, unfortunately. Well, so let's make up our ending of the story.
So, Shane, what do you think happens? What do you think happens, Shane?
I think that they're able to stop the syndicate from capturing the girls, send Mennonite home, and then turns out they were lying. I don't know.
I kind of like the twist. Jason, what do you think?
I think the girl who likes Mennonite, Brianna.
I think it was Brianna.
Okay, she gets to see that tight Mennonite dick game.
Yeah, I was actually going to say. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she gets with Mennonite since she's like. Yeah, Brianna's the one that's the werewolf, right? She's the 400 years old. So yeah, that's cool, right?
Yeah.
400-year-old werewolf can fuck a
whatever he is,
alien.
Planet
Popstar.
Yeah.
Get that Planet Popstar dick.
Well, I think this is the first time we've actually completed a fan fiction story on an episode. Yeah. So I mean, completed what was there anyway. And I think this is the first time I've won a game in
5 rounds. Yeah, this is
too bad it's not worth anything.
Not worth anything.
Well. There's always next time, right?
Yeah. And on that note, thanks so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing.
Yeah, and we'll see you another time on Stranger Than Fan Fiction.
Smash that like button.